Like,
I don't know. You ruined a whole thing I was going to try to do where I was going to just like already be filming and just call you because spontaneity is the best. By the way, we're filming already.
oh, hello, internet. I just ruined the algorithm for this thanks to
Fuck
YouTube's new.
that. First of all, it's not even an algorithm thing. I don't think, as far as I can tell, we're so little, we're not going to be pushed out or not. And it's just that we're not going to get paid. And I've never wanted to or needed to get paid for this, okay? It's not going to happen. Unless, we all know that unless you're a PewDiePie or a Markiplier, you're not making fucking shit off of YouTube, all right? You can be like 100,000 subscribers and make like fucking $5 a week, as far as I understand.
Do you want to know Grizzy's CPM right now? Just because I've been paying attention to it. One of the
I'm
biggest,
guessing less than 100 a month.
one of the bigger goon friends is making $103 this month
Damn, I
on
called that.
YouTube.
Yeah, no, it's who cares? Yeah. If you guys saw that, story and were like, "Wow, is that why Controlled Chaos didn't review the 10-page chapter?" No, it was because it was 10 pages. I was like, 10 pages. I don't know, man. Also, I'm lazy and I want to sleep. There was a day last week where I actually slept 12 hours. It was a glorious day.
I slept 14 today. I slept 14 fucking hours today, and it felt divine.
I'm so proud of you, Vex. I'm sure you're the same as me. I feel like we're both in a silly, goofy moods. I'm feeling the good video vibes today.
I am. So like the new term word is ick, right? That's
yeah,
the
I saw
new
that.
the trendy word. So what is your medical ick, Red? Because I have one I found out here recently.
Okay, give me yours first then.
So you know how some meds dissolve under your tongue? So
under your tongue?
Yep.
What kind of
Yeah.
fucking bullshit is that? Who wants
So,
that shit?
Like when I had COVID, they gave me a nausea pill. That was my first experience with it. And I'm like, okay, this is annoying because I was constantly throwing up from it. And then now my estrogen is like sublingual, so it just dissolves under the tongue.
Man, you should have thought about that before being trans.
So like the pharmacy I get.
I'm sorry.
So like I'm going to clarify. Like the pharmacy I get my stuff through now has the regular pill form. And like the second I get my prescription renewal, I'm like, can I please just have the?
You got to go up there and be like, can you actually just get me like a Monster Energy drink infused with the estrogen?
Dude. No, like as dependent as I am on fucking energy drinks, please God, don't ever make that a thing.
Dude, the estrogen energy drink. Bro, I feel like the utopian society is one where you can just fucking slurp estrogen whenever you want, and that goes for any hormone. If you want to make yourself a blob, feel free. That's like the cyberpunk world, right? Like you walk into a shop and you're like, I would like robo laser nipple titties, please. It's like, yeah, of course.
That's a kink somewhere.
How much do I owe you? Nothing. It's for free. Free. Bernie Sanders post-humanist cyberpunk world. I love it.
Please, God, yes.
Free.
Give me a robotic penis.
I say this as someone who is terrified of like robo augmentations. I would never do it myself, but I believe in the freedom. I believe that all of you should be able to get robo penises. Okay. What else?
I fucking love this intro, man.
What's your food ick?
So like I'm very particular with like sauces and shit, as you know from eating with me at restaurants.
Right. Yeah, dude. I brought him to Buffalo Wild Wings once, and he was like, "Oh, by the way, I'm allergic to tomatoes." And I was like, "Okay, well, you might as well fucking leave." What the fuck are you doing here?
There's sauces I can have, but like when they over sauce your food, that's annoying as shit. Like when it looks like cum was drizzled on there, like please don't.
That has a lot to do more with the
it's
color and texture. Yeah, because there are some sauces that do just be looking like cum, which is unfortunate. But no, there's a fucking I'm calling you out, Wing World in Sparta, Michigan. I'm calling you out right now, Wing World in Sparta, Michigan. You wouldn't want to get angry calls from random people on the internet. Wing World in Sparta, Michigan. No, do not do that. But if you do, just don't tell them we sent you. So they like to listen, I love them. Okay, they give you a lot of wings for the price. Okay, have you ever gone there, Vex?
No, I haven't.
So like their thing is, if you go there, they really don't pay attention to how much wings they put in. It's wild. Like there's the sizes. It's like 8-piece, 10-piece, 18-piece, 20-piece. If you get like a 10-piece, chances are they're gonna slide. There's gonna be 20 in there. It's like they don't even. I swear to God, they don't look. They're just they just go by vibes. It's crazy. So like you can get like a lot of food for a little bit of price, but whatever sauce you choose, bro, it's like you're bobbing for apples in the sauce. It's insane. I'm like, please. So like the best thing to do, ask for the sauce on the side. Wing World in Sparta, Michigan.
So have you ever? So while we're on the subject of food, there's a new place I fucking love here in Grand Rapids. Right? It's called Tinderbox. It's a ghost kitchen for Black Rock.
Oh, it's one of those Uber Eats things where it's like bro, I heard Tinder and I thought it was gonna be like some weird like fuck hotel.
Please make that reality. No, please God, don't. I would feel bad for the facilities there in this town. But no,
as
like
long as they're paid well. Listen, man, there is a rate that you could pay me to get me to clean up cum for a living. Like there's definitely a price that I would do that for.
Yeah.
You know what? That's a good question. Hold on. How many dollars an hour would you have to be paid for your job to be to clean up like sex rooms?
25 an hour.
I feel like I'd push for 30 because some of you'd walk into some of those and they'd be stinky, bro.
Well, I make 22 an hour right now.
Yeah, so you're not even getting like you're not asking for enough. 25 an hour to clean up sex rooms. Your whole like that's already a janitor position, which isn't great. I'm just saying, push for more, man. Like 30, God.
Well, it's just the amount of stories you could have from something like that would make it worth it for me.
Fair.
But like no, Tinderbox, they do things by the pound, right? So if you're super high, it's almost like a Taco Bell in a way.
Nice.
So I ordered a third of a pound. I'm like, today I ordered a third of a pound. That's why I was eating.
Of what? Just nuggies?
No, there's just like giant fucking tenders, dude.
What? Oh, tenders, dude. I kept hearing Tinder. I thought it was Tinderbox. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
No, like they're fucking massive, dude. They're like
how many different restaurants do you have to go to order the same fucking meal, Vex? Like all you eat is chicken tenders.
Well, I like being on the diet I'm on. It's very hard to eat. You know,
it's not a diet thing; it's an autism thing, and you know it.
No, it is actually a fucking. I am actually on like a paleo diet, so it's very hard to
what?
find.
You're not fat.
I'm not fat, but I do have issues with binge eating.
That's fair, same.
So like that was the best way to combat it. Is like a lot of calories for easy to burn off.
And now that you're a woman, society expects you to be more beautiful.
Right. I got 95 pounds.
You got to start manifesting all that fat to go to your titties.
Yeah, I have had to buy new pants 3 times since being on hormones. It is annoying.
Apparently, estrogen's just the ass inflator, boys.
Yeah, it is.
It is looking to get a new ass
for your ass. Yeah. It is also very annoying when you are a cheap bitch when it comes to clothes.
Okay. Should we begin to transition into talking to the story? We're talking about Chainsaw Man. Just a quick.
Yeah. I find it funny. Like a lot of this has been about food because we found out that Asa has a breaking point with food, right?
Well, so, okay, lots of things to talk about here. So yes, we have 115 and 116 to talk about. I think we all knew that this whole I don't eat fish thing was like an autistic thing, and I know we're overusing it, but like I'm happy to see that like as I look around the fandom, it's not just us. Like everyone has kind of picked up on the fact that like Asa's very much autistic coded, and we can appreciate that. So like, yeah, I mean like it was if it's down to that was kind of the thing I think that made her feel really guilty. The last chapter that we reviewed is that like her whole thing against fish, like they're like, oh my god, oh no, all we have to eat is fish, and you must be allergic to it. Oh my god, she's gonna starve to death. It's like, no, I just don't like it. It's my food ick.
Right, and like, I get it.
I do too. But like, imagine you're in like a scenario where it's like, all right, we have to survive for like on this island for like 5 days until someone picks us up, and you're like, okay, your job is to I don't know, like I'm thinking of an example. You need to comb the beach for useful supplies. Like I can't, I don't like the feeling of the sand is too hot on my feet. My feet are sensitive. You know what I mean? That's what it came off as.
Right.
I was like, oh god, this motherfucker.
It's a very realistic thing though. Like as a society, we've really got into like very, very vastly differing diets, and a lot of people that are autistic do have like those textures, those tastes, those feels, things for certain food.
Well, that's why I like how it's portrayed with her, because
Mm-hmm.
like she can, when you have stuff like that, it's not like a lot of times autistic people they're aware of like what's making people not like them, but it's super hard to get out. Like I mean, a lot of your upbringing when you're autistic is attempting to mask those things, right? They call it masking for a reason. So like you can see her like immediately realize in that last chapter where she's like, oh fuck, I did an autism again, and like so like you can see when Denji comes over and it's like, oh, you can't eat fish or whatever, all it takes a couple pages for her to be like, fuck it, I'm gonna eat the fish. And, which is like, it's the same thing. I used to have so many things that I just wouldn't do because it like made me uncomfortable, and then I realized all it took was like pushing myself a bit to get past it. Do you think you could like twist the adjustments on your mic or something? It's doing that like crackle shit.
Oh, that's probably because I'm leaning on the arm of my chair here. Let me move over a little bit.
All
right. But I've had a lot of those like realizations here recently, and I don't know if it's because I've quit caring as much as I've gotten older, or if I've just
a lot better about food.
Or if it's just like I just realized like, hey, maybe if I just try new things, maybe I'll like them.
Yeah, me too, dude.
So I don't know how much of my Twitter shenanigans you've been paying attention to. I'm currently banned on Twitter because I said a bad to a reporter.
Yeah, but you should bitch to Elon. I thought this was America, Elon.
Right. I was tempted because Elon blocked me on my main.
That's awesome. That's an accomplishment. Well, what did you do to get blocked by Elon?
I tweeted that fan art at him.
Which one? Where
they drew him looking like a fucking slumped over abstract character. But anyway,
you have to show it to me.
I got a screenshot of it.
Yeah, later, it's fine.
But anyway, I got blocked by him a long time ago on my main. I was half tempted to be like from the channel account, like, I thought this was America, Elon, from the channel Twitter. I'm just like, you know what? I guess I can still get banned, even if I am technically paying for my blue check mark.
I saw the first crumb of self-awareness from him today. I was very surprised. He tweeted out, because he keeps tweeting out his opinions on politics. A billionaire's opinion on politics, always good. Right. Obviously, where he's gonna land. And he said he did a poll because he's obsessed with these fucking polls, and he was like, should I keep tweeting about politics? Or no, it was A, stop tweeting about politics, or B, continue shooting myself in the foot. And I was like, all right, Elon, that was funny and self-aware.
So I saw the one like 12 months ago. I was person of the year, and then Grimes was over here like, 12 months ago I was in love with you.
Did she really? That's not real. Is that real? That's such a burn. Is that real? There's no way.
That was a real one.
No, I gotta double check, because sometimes you fall for those fucking fake things. I feel like I would have seen that if that was real.
I follow Grimes because I like her music. I hate her politics. But
is it the one with like the fancy text, Grimes?
Yeah.
Let me see this shit. Are we sure this is real?
I've seen it circulating everywhere, dude. It's fucking hilarious.
That seems like so unnecessarily fucking aggressive.
She is the pettiest bitch on the planet. I love her for it.
Damn, dude. Heterosexuality overrated. It's so funny too, because you heard the thing that was like that there was like a thing that came out where like there was like some leaks about like the drama with Grimes and Elon's relationship, and how like Elon is like one of those weird, unironically, Elon is one of those weird like incel forum posters who is like, I just wanted to have like a bunch of kids with a beautiful fertile woman, but feminism corrupted her. Like unironically, like Elon is on that shit apparently, according to like the leaks and shit. Did you hear about this? Because like there was a thing where like there was a Reddit post. It was one of those like relationship advice posts, and it was anonymous, but like all the details like added like connected to like Grimes and Elon. So like there was a big thing where people were like, "Is this about Elon?" And it like really I don't know. That'd be funny.
It was fucking hilarious. I saw that like 6-ish months ago, it seems like, on Reddit.
I don't remember, but yeah, maybe about that. But yeah, like I feel like that checks out. I feel like he is just like super salty. He's got that like, I still love her, but feminism has corrupted her. Cuz I feel like a lot of men do think like when they are when they go full Andrew Tate mode, and then like they're like women won't talk to them, or their woman leaves them, they're like It's like that fucking meme, that Adult Swim show where like he shoots the guy in the chair and he's like, why would feminism do this?
Oh yeah,
Shoots his own relationship in the fucking face. Why
that
would
was the
feminism
Eric
do
Andre show skit.
That's like literally every fucking incel type, like, or every toxic masculinity type. It's like, treats woman like object. Why would feminism do this to my woman?
So like the reason I brought that up is because I kind of triggered the Andrew Tate fans.
Oh yeah, we probably I know we're off topic as hell. So finish your Andrew Tate and then we'll try to bring it back to James.
So you heard that he got arrested.
Of course, yeah, it was beautiful.
So there's a fucking photo of him going around that he's in the back of the transit van that you put a prisoner in.
Yeah. And
it's like, what is he thinking about? And I just posted under there, like, how to not get treated like a fleshlight.
Nice. Yeah. Oh my God, yeah. He's a supple, gay-looking man, isn't he? He would get, his ass would get destroyed in prison.
Well, no matter what, like, sex-related crimes are those types of prisoners are treated the most poorly in prison. And I was half making it as a shitpost, half making it as a not, and immediately my inbox was just like my IP address and everything. I'm like, I don't fucking care. Come on, go ahead. Nice. So like, I use a VPN no matter what.
Weird that this guy shitting on fucking Andrew Tate lives in Antarctica.
Right. And two, I look 25 feet to my right and I have a rifle.
True. Many guns. Also, one of the nice things about living in an apartment is it's like, all right, you're gonna know where my address is, but I highly doubt it. Like, it's not that accurate, right? Wouldn't they have to figure out which door is yours?
Well, where is the blue-haired freak that lives in this particular?
Yeah. Okay, Chainsaw Man. I'm fucking putting my foot down. It's Chainsaw Man time. So,
do you think fake
Boy,
Saw Man?
maybe it's my turn to motherfucker. You've been doing so much talking. I swear to God. All right, that's right. Now sit down and eat your starfish. Okay. Now, I'm gonna start with the 10-page chapter. Try to do some sense of cohesion here. So I feel like in part 1 they didn't really dive as much into the horrors of the Eternity Devil as much as I would have liked. So I feel like they're doing that really well here in part 2. Do you agree on that?
They are.
Your audio is like hella quiet all of a sudden.
They are. I'm just very
Vex, your audio is like nothing right now.
What the fuck? Hello.
Better.
Ooh.
Anyway, so like I love the just the location, the aesthetic of like the fish rotting around them, like what nightmare shit. The fact that she goes into detail that the toilets don't flush, so you know the shit and piss is just piling up every time they're fucking shitting and pissing. Right. You have rip-off Kobani like licking the fucking dew off the windows. Losing her mind.
Give me some water, please.
His mind. And then we finally do get in this chapter. I don't want to skip over this because this is important here. Fake Sawman here. It's not even what I suspected. I was thinking, oh man, it's the Justice Devil contract giving him like fake Chainsaw Man powers because he's like a Chainsaw Man simp. He is a Chainsaw Man simp, but not a Justice Devil contract. He's just such a Chainsaw Man simp. He sexually identifies as Chainsaw Man. He got the surgery and everything, bro. You can relate to this guy.
In a weird way, I guess. But like, I'm very confused. Like, how? First of all, like,
he clearly has money. Look at this guy. He comes from a rich family, so like, it's probably one of those like the doctors are probably like, "Hey man, you paying me? I'll do whatever the fuck you want."
Right, like I get that. Like it's like cosmetic surgery over here, except like it's not ass and tit implants. It's like I want chainsaws put in my fucking arms, and I want a surgical graft of a chainsaw ripcord on my chest.
Oh, you know what? That's a good point. I'm glad you reminded me of this because I just had a full like retard moment here, and I'm okay to say that because I'm talking about myself here. I thought about it. I was like, should I say retard? Yeah, I'll say it. Okay, so here's the thing. You're right? Because now I'm remembering Yuko was school shooter lady, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You're right. Yuko got killed by something that was clearly not Denji. But if this guy is just because like I didn't even think about the fucking that scene. Do we think that? So do we think that the thing that killed Yuko is this guy, or is that a totally different entity? This guy might just be a red herring.
At this point, I'm thinking it might be a red herring, but at the same time, I'm like,
he could also be lying.
Right, like it's like this is a school kid who probably doesn't want to blow too much of his cover, depending on where he's contracted, because he is part of the Devil's Hunters Club thingy. But at the same time, like, we don't fully know, like, are they contracted with one of the private organizations? Are they just like kids trying to learn how to be devil hunters in school? Is it, a lot of this shit going on?
I think what they're supposed to be is just kids learning how to be devil hunters. Could they have like some secret affiliations? Definitely.
Because like Child Soldier in the 1990s was not that far off of being a reality.
Yeah, I wouldn't put it past any government to like go to. It's just like how the army would come to our schools and be like, which one of these boys is looking 6'3" and ready to be a meat shield? You know what I mean? Like, oops, that's me. I'm 6'3" and ready to be a meat shield.
Red, the conscientious objector. Well, let's put him in the front line to get shot first.
I'll be the white version of that Chinese guy that stood in front of a tank.
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ.
Tiananmen Square!
Well, as long as you don't douse yourself in gasoline in front of the fucking Capitol.
No, that's a little too badass for me. I'm not that badass.
All of these being real events is what's terrifying about our reality.
Hey, man. I feel like the way I look at it is when you have 8 billion people, and yeah, we can say 8 now. Hey, guys, stop having kids. Stop it. We have enough. Thank you.
More men get vasectomies, please. Yeah. I did my part.
Castration for all men. No, I'm just kidding. I like my balls too much. What was I going to say? No, but I need to get back. Hold on, I'm reorienting my brain here. So yeah, this guy, though, I feel my instinct is to say that he's not the thing that killed Yuko, because you can't get what that thing had with surgery. So either he's not the thing that killed Yuko, or he's like lying, or it's like a stretching of the truth where like actually it is a surgical implant, and it started out as him being like a Chainsaw Man superfan, but then like recently he got like a contract that allowed him to actually get the powers. Or just it's all surgical implants, and we've hit a fucking level of like where Cyberpunk has hit that. In the 90s, I don't think so. I think that'd be.
I mean, we were experimenting with fucking cloning as early as the 80s.
I don't think so. I understand the possibility, but I think that would be kind of, to me, that'd be kind of lame if like you could get.
I mean, we have flip phones in this reality.
I don't like it. I think that would.
What's to say the technology hasn't gotten advanced in this reality to the point where like
No, I'm talking about from a story perspective. I wouldn't like it, because if you could just get comparable powers to actual devils with surgery, I feel like that would be like very undermining of the actual like devils themselves.
Maybe when Makima died, her control over advancing technology was broken.
Did she have control over advancing technology?
Well, we know she's the control devil. We know she was also suppressing multiple governments at that point.
I don't like it.
I'm just trying to explain it in a plot way.
I understand it, your theory. I could like it could make sense. I just think from a story perspective.
Oh, 100%. This is also cool. Me talking out of my ass for the plot point of like conversation here.
No. Don't come up with. Don't just shit out a theory if you don't actually believe in it, man.
But like I do realize like having control over the government also has a massive hindrance on the ability to do new things. So like it would make sense from a story perspective to do something like that now that she's no longer in the picture. But at the same time, like, I don't like it either because it is a little bit lazy, but I could see it being a thing.
I'm 99% sure it's not what it is. It's that theory is so off base from anything I'm even considering to be a thing. I highly doubt it.
It also probably helps I just finished watching the most recent season of Archer, and like it also lives in like a pseudo-advanced but pseudo-past world.
I have a feeling it's devil contract shit. I don't think it's tech. I think that would be very... I just think that'd be dumb. I feel like that would be very off base from what I would want from this series. Let's see. But I mean, like, I feel like Fujimoto's trying to make him come off as like a coward here in these 2 pages, where he's like, because they've all kind of gone nuts.
Save me, Chainsaw Man!
And I feel like no matter how much he wants to like keep this secret, you know, would he really be, you know, I feel like he would have transformed by now if he had all these technological advancements. I don't think that's what it is. I actually just don't think it's actually him. I think it's some other thing going on, to be honest with you.
Oh, it's 100% the most likely scenario there, and I do like the idea of having multiple Chainsaw Man simps.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, that does lead a very, very easy cop out for anything just sitting in the background.
What do you mean?
Well, we know that eventually we're going to have Denji become public enemy here. Like, that's an inevitability. Because
in what way? Because a lot of people love him, so he's public hero already.
He's public hero, but at the same time, like, him being a hormonal teenager is a very massive liability, and any wise...
Oh, you mean like the government being like, all right, we need to put a lid on this thing?
We need to stop utilizing this asset here before he reaches a certain age and tells everybody about it, because he's obviously a fucking idiot.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure if they could, they would pull a One Piece and just, like, you know, do what they did with Kuma and just like, oh, we'd love to, like, keep him as Chainsaw Man, but just erase his Denji brain, you know?
That is also a possibility, but having multiple Denji style characters floating around is a massive liability, and what's to say the government is not going to, like, well, this is a perfect excuse to hunt him down now.
I have a feeling Kishibe and Kishibe alone is the one thing stopping the government from, like, coming after him. Like, I feel like Kishibe has such, like, pull and clout in the government that, like, his presence is, like, a big factor in them not immediately going after him.
That's fair.
Yeah.
But we also don't know what the fuck Kishibe is doing right now.
Well, I could see a moment. Yeah. Well, I could see a moment where, like, maybe something does happen to Kishibe, and then immediately the government's like, all right, like, you've seen enough Jujutsu Kaisen, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, there's that first moment where Gojo is talking to the elders, and, like, all the elders, I think I don't know what they're called, but all the old fuckers are like, we should probably kill Yuji since he ate that finger, and then we could, like, eliminate at least one of the fingers, you know, and, like, all that. And then Gojo's like, no. And what are you gonna do about it? Because I'm fucking Gojo. You boomers. I always.
Well, I mean, you just get sealed in a cube prison.
Yeah. Well, I thought that was a decent, like, that. It took a lot to seal him. There was, like, a whole plan there. He went through, like, a 5v1. I appreciated that. That's fine. Either way, the boomers were not gonna fucking be able to deal with Gojo. Clearly. All right. I don't know how far you got into JJK. There's like a flashback in JJK that I love. Here's my thoughts on JJK for everyone wondering. Everything involving Gojo is great. Everything else bores me to death. I'm sure there's exceptions, but, like, I love Gojo. Everything else is like, eh. And, like, there's a there's a part in Gojo's flashback, and I'm probably misquoting it because I read it, like, in 2020 at this point. But, like, they're talking about how, like, when Gojo was born, Gojo is, like, the whole point of his character is to be OP. So, like, there's a flashback where it's like, oh yeah, when Gojo was born, like, curses all around the world just, like, felt that shit. They were like, oh fuck, shit's different now. Like, just his presence, like, I think just his presence after his birth, like, lowered, like, curse rates, like, by some absurd statistic or something. I love that shit. Gojo's incredible. But yeah. Anyway, my point being, I think Kishibe is pulling a Gojo with, like, the politicians of Japan. Like, oh, you want to go after him? Sorry, bro. It's because of him that you aren't dealing with Makima and her old fucking reality manipulating ass right now. So you better fucking show some respect or fucking face me. You have to go through me if you're going to touch that boy.
And remember, he's Mr. Top of the Verse.
He is Mr. Top. Now that Makima's out of the picture, he probably actually is Top of the Verse.
That is terrifying to think about.
Yeah, I actually am Top of the Verse now. I was mistaken earlier. I didn't realize. I don't think any of us knew Makima's whole deal, but now that she's out of the picture, I actually am back to Top of the Verse. I like how, like, you could come up to him and, like, bring up all these different characters. Like, what about Darkness Devil? It's like, okay, well, come on now. You can't count the Primordial. I'm Top of the Verse of, like, humans. Okay, well, what about, like, it's like, shut the fuck up. I'm Top of the Verse.
What about your asset floating around there?
I still feel like Kishibe could beat Denji.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Because Denji, he's gotten better, but I just feel like Kishibe's got the, like,
he's sloppy though.
Yeah.
Like, Denji is sloppy because he's inexperienced. Kishibe has experience, and experience, no matter how strong you are, is always going to be outweighing, like, that massive, like, strength of whatever the fuck's going on.
Anyone that stays alive that long as the Devil Hunter, I mean, there's something going on with them beyond what meets the eye.
Well, you see, for Quan Chi, it is her lesbian harem, and for Top of the Verse, it is the fact that he has the ultimate blue balls.
I love that. I still love that. And I like how it's so wholesome that he respected it, you know?
Right.
He chased her for like 10 years, and then she was figuring herself out, and she's like, yeah, you know, I'm sorry, man. And he's like, yeah, I get it. It's okay.
Yeah, I kind of figured that out about 5 years ago,
okay
but
that
I
you
just wanted to hold on.
physically harassed me. Isn't she the one that gave him his scar?
Mm-hmm.
Which is funny, by the way. That means, like, that actually even increases his top of the verseness, because, like, it's not like he got that scar fighting a devil. That almost implies that he's, like, untouched from all of his devil fights. It's only from Quan that he got scarred.
A fucking hybrid did that to him, but, like...
A fucking lesbian did that to him. The most dangerous of all creatures.
Oh, fucking hell.
Okay, back to Chainsaw Man. Everybody shut the fuck up. Okay, so Octopus Man. What's his name again?
Yoshida.
Yeah.
My guy, Yoshida.
I don't know why my brain went Takanota, which is not a thing. Taka, it's because Taka means octopus, right? Or I think? Taco?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm not.
Man, names are hard, bro. Like, the only thing that helps me memorize names is if I hear them auditorily in
Well,
audio.
boy, do I have a great project for you and your partner, the anti-dubber.
Hey, man. I remember the fuck. Wait, hold on. That doesn't count. How many characters from part 1 are still here? Vex? What? 1? 2? We haven't gotten to Yoshida in the dub yet, or in any anime form. Everyone that I've seen in the anime is dead. Okay? I don't want to fucking hear it. I can't. I don't have time to memorize their names because they're all gonna die. What's the point?
That is entirely fair.
Okay, so he had Octopus Boy. Yoshida had a cell phone, but turns out, and this makes me feel a little bit better about Asa's blunder, cell phone signal ain't getting through, which actually does make sense. I feel like
you're massively underground, like
Also, not only are you massively underground, I wonder if, like, because he has the Eternity Devil, like, does some weird shit with, like, cutting you off from reality. So I wonder if it would even get through in the first place. You know, after that might even be part of Eternity Devil's whole thing.
It could be. Like, it very well could be. Like, we don't know, like, how OP that power really is, other than the fact that it just holds you hostage there until it's defeated.
Yeah. And I like this, it really cements in how serious this moment is when even Yoshida is like, to be honest with you, even I'm kind of making peace with death here. I was like, God damn. And I like this line a lot where he says, do you think Chainsaw Man could eat it for us, the Death Devil? As in, like, getting rid of the concept of death, which already, I love that idea because it immediately reminds me of, like, I mean, I've seen a bunch of shows where, like, they get rid of the idea of, like, someone being able to die, but, like, the first thing I thought of was actually that Family Guy episode where Death gets injured.
Rolls his ankle, not even seriously injured, rolls his ankle, and the whole concept of death no longer exists.
Yeah, Peter's fucking jumping off buildings and shit. Like, I love that as a concept. I really hope that isn't a blue balls. Like, I want to see that happen. I want to see Denji. Yeah, you know what? I'll be like, yo, Pachita, you want to just go out, get some ice cream, go bowling, and maybe like just for fun. No, just for fun, like erase the concept of death on the side. What was that last one? Oh, get ice cream. No, the one before that. Go bowling. No, the one right in the middle there.
Erase the concept of death itself.
I don't know if we could do that. No, which now remind me.
Would that totally fuck up reality though? Like Makima would be back technically because she was dead.
Ooh, oh god. See, this is where we need explanations on how it works, right? Because like, does it go back in? I feel like it can't go back in time and erase. But then that's what it did with World War I and Nazis. No, did it though? Hold on, wait a minute. We had this talk before, okay? So when they got rid of like Nazis in World War II and yada yada yada, and like nukes and shit, did it go back and undo the deaths, or is it just simply that now it doesn't exist going forward and no one remembers the deaths? That's what we need to learn.
Right.
We need to
learn that.
That's an explanation we need if we ever get there. But also I need, and like maybe you'll remember, or if not, I asked the comments to tell us. Does Denji know about that? Because like I feel like, because as far as I remember, he was not there mentally when all this was being discussed, right? When Kishibe and Makima were discussing the whole Chainsaw Man can eat a thing or remove it from existence, yada yada, Denji wasn't actively conscious. It was Chainsaw Man, it was Vance, right?
So like
So like, does
the
Denji
conscious transfer between the two entities?
Yeah, well, mainly what I'm saying is, like, Yoshida saying this, and the fact that he knows is interesting, which means that Kishibe's probably discussed it with him, right? That kind of, that almost, like, doubles up our idea of, like, Kishibe being in close contact with him, because Kishibe would be, like, the one person who would know that, you know, because he was the one that Makima told. So when he says this here, we see Denji's face. I can't tell if that's confusion or just his normal dopey look. This is page 6 on 115, by the way.
Let me swipe back over to that screen real quick.
Yeah, page 6, 115. So he says that, and bottom left, you see Denji's reaction, and I can't tell if that's like, because that could be confusion, because like I don't know if Denji knows that that's Chainsaw Man's power, or that could just be his normal dopey look. I don't know, but I'm curious on comments what you guys think. Does Denji know about the, you know, conceptual erasing powers of Chainsaw Man?
Yeah, I think it's a look of confusion.
Me too. I think he's just kind of like, what the fuck are you talking about, man? Whatever, you're all fucking delusional.
But when we get to Asa's expression here on
love it. I love
8 and 9,
love her just sitting in the fucking water, just like full losing it.
Like she's contemplating her own mortality too, which is
they all are,
which is interesting because like she has war inside of her, but not inside of her at the moment.
Yeah, war is locked away because Fami locked it away. So as far as I understand, like war isn't here to hear any of this. I assume that I don't even know. Like I'm not sure where they took. I can maybe like just outside. Maybe they're just outside, like waiting. Like I don't really know. I need to go back and see what she actually said again. Continue what you were saying.
So like I'm curious if like them both being technically hybrids, like what death is to them or eternity really is to them, because like they can't technically die, can they? Just the vessels themselves. So they basically
what, devils?
Be turned in... I'm just saying, like they basically would be flesh puppets, like Power.
What are we talking about? Sorry,
if this loop here with eternity went on so long, would she cease to function because war isn't inside of her yet, or
because she's like technically dead,
just human right now? She's just human right now. So if this went on for like her lifespan, would she just be puppeted around, or would she just be dead? And would war be without a host again?
I don't think I fully understand what you're asking. I'm sorry. Maybe can you reword it?
So like Denji still has like Chainsaw Man,
right?
Puchita in him at this point. But like if this loop went on long enough for them to both technically die,
right?
Would Asa just be dead because she doesn't have the hybrid inside of her, or the devil inside of her right now, or would she just, you know, still technically
that's
exist?
a good point, right? Because Denji's immortal as far as we know, right?
Right.
So would he just live forever?
Right.
So maybe that's
the rules I would like to see explained a little more too.
Yeah, because I remember that was discussed when Kishibe was training them. It was like Power is semi-immortal and Denji and the hybrids are like basically immortal, right?
Right.
So yeah, interesting.
But without the devil inside of Asa right now, she's mortal, you would think.
Well, Asa is not a hybrid like Denji or...
No. She's just contracted. So, like, once she's gone, she's gone. Never mind.
So I feel like Asa would just die like normal, regardless of if War Devil is with her or not.
Okay, my big brain moment just kind of just...
And War Devil, I have a feeling, isn't super, like, oh, it needs to be Asa. I mean, I do think War Devil is like getting a little attached to Asa,
right?
But like I do think that like War Devil on the whole would probably just be like, well, time to get a new human, try this out, start all over again. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So I went back to the chapter. Famine shows up, and then War Devil is like, oh, don't listen to that, boop, and then she just like pops her out of existence, and then she says, I took Yoru outside. It's only temporary. So any human should be capable of abandoning their morality when they're starving. I'll set the right stage for you. You cannot leave this aquarium until you turn Denji into a weapon. So That's cool. And I guess that we can lead that into the end of the current chapter, and then we can round back. I love the plan. The plan right now, fuck yes. She is about to attempt to turn the entire aquarium into a weapon. And I love the justification, because a lot of it's just like with Makima's. Remember, Makima's rule was anyone that I look down on, anyone that I consider lesser than me, I can control. And with Makima, that was like literally everyone except for Chainsaw Man and maybe Kishibe, right? And I love that, right? Like so a lot of like the rules for devils, it has to do with their own mentality. So it's not like there's not like a consistent scientific set of rules logic to it. It's a lot more to do with their own perception. It's kind of like the whole thing with like, you know how like our memories aren't as like correct as we assume them to be,
right? That's why like eyewitness testimony is heavily debated.
So like for War Devil, it's anything I own I can turn into a weapon. But like, you know, now we're getting into like, well, what do you own? And what, you know, is it, and so now we know it's whatever they consider to own. So I like it. At the end here, she's basically like, don't worry about the logic, don't think about it too much. All that matters is that you believe it, right? So she's like, okay, I got all this money, I officially buy the aquarium, and now it's mine, you know, and she has to like believe it. And I imagine like if even for a second she doesn't believe it, it's not gonna work. She has to fully believe, like, yep, I bought the aquarium, it's mine now, you know. And like, so it's, if you can delude yourself, if you are delusional enough, and that, you know what that reminds me of? I'm realizing why I like this so much. It reminds me so much of the spoilers for the last arc of Fire Force. It reminds me of when the Cataclysm hits in Fire Force, because the Cataclysm is it's like a state of the universe where your perceptions about reality, humans' perceptions about reality, start to blend into reality itself. So like the reason that the Soul Eater moon in Soul Eater is like cartoonish is because it's people's perceptions of reality. So like the world starts to become more hand-drawn rather than like, you know, looking like real life. So when the Cataclysm hits in Fire Force, the people that are like the most delusional become fucking gods, essentially. So like Arthur, Mr. I'm an all-powerful knight, all of a sudden is an all-powerful knight. The man, I don't know how far have you gotten in that shit, Vex?
I haven't read past the like where they find the second reactor.
Okay, so my brother in Christ, when I tell you that Arthur fucking video game fast travels
You
in
told
real
me
life,
about it.
Oh, because the man, like, he's beaten by a really powerful enemy, and you know how he trains? He goes and plays like Final Fantasy or some shit. I think he plays like Final Fantasy or Dragon Quest or something. He's like, all right,
probably Dragon Quest.
I think it's Dragon Quest. So he goes. He's like, I need to train for my final battle.
Grind.
And he goes and plays. They hook up the fucking SNES and they play some Dragon Quest or whatever the fuck. And then he's like, all right, I'm ready. And he unironically like turns into pixels and fucking fast travels over to the guy because he's so delusional. So that connecting to this, I like that like a lot of these devils' powers work better if they're like super, you know, full of themselves or like egotistical or conceited. You know, with Makima, it's, you know, she's the control devil, and she was, you know, there's an element of her where she was super full of herself. She was stronger and more powerful and smarter than almost everybody, and she knew it, and therefore she could control almost everybody. That's one of the reasons why she was able to have like 37 fucking contracts, is because it's very easy to make a contract if you can just be like, hey, make a contract with me, and no downsides for me, thank you. You know, I think that's one of the reasons she was so infatuated with Chainsaw Man, is because it was one of the few entities where she looked up to him. It wasn't like you're lesser than me, therefore I can't control you, therefore anything I want from you I have to earn the hard way. So with War Devil, I just love that idea of like, okay, and it's also Asa's being very smart again, which I love that about her character. But yeah, just her being like, and I own the aquarium. Very smart, very genius idea, very thinking out of the box. It's one of the first times in this part that I've really been like, ooh, that's the fucking Chainsaw Man that I've been waiting for. This like out of the box thinking shit. I love it.
I'm enjoying the fact that we're getting back to the more outside craziness thinking, but what really... can we just talk about how absolutely delusional she is? Like, she is so full of herself here, and thinking she's perfect.
What are we talking about right
now?
Oh, are you talking about when she goes
right?
power? When she goes power mode?
Yes.
I think that's the autism popping out again, right? I think she's super, super I didn't read it that way. I read it more as like she's really low confident right now. Like she's clearly got a whole cocktail of different mental illnesses. So I don't like to read that as like she's full of herself, but more like she's kind of switching between. I mean, you should know this more than anyone, Vex. We make the joke with you. Like, aren't you the type of person that's like either you're so full of yourself you think you're a god, or you're like manically depressed, right? Like, I feel like I feel like that's the vibe that we're going with her, where she's like, because I've had that before too, where like you get off of like an awkward social situation and you're like, fuck, I'm an idiot, no one should like me, and then one person gives you a compliment, and you're like, yeah, you're right, I'm awesome. You know what I mean? Like, she's just cripplingly autistic, and I love her for it. And I love what Denji says here, and like I knew this was gonna happen. I was waiting for the moment where like Fujimoto was gonna have them kind of connect and start to like actually enjoy each other's company. I knew this was going to happen. And like I love what Denji says, where it's like the things you say are boring, but you're very fun to watch. And you know, he's appreciating the autism, I think, you know, like I know it's kind of, I don't know how many people agree with me on this, but autism is kind of in these days. Like people, you know, people used to worry like, oh, am I hyperfixating? Am I like, you know, am I talking too much about Transformers? Is she thinking I'm lame? Like, have you ever seen that meme where it's like the guy's like going on and on about like some hyperfixation? He's like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm probably talking too much. And then it goes into the girl's thoughts, and she's like, I can't wait to choke on his cock. Have you seen that meme?
Yeah, I've seen it.
Autism is in, my guys. Like, don't be fucking nervous. If you're truly passionate and you treat women like human beings, and you give them a chance to talk. That's a very important part too.
Right.
Like, you ask questions about them and their interests, you're set. That's all you need.
It's very much in, but there is a fine line, I think.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Because like even I find myself talking about shit too much. That's why like I don't talk about it much, but like that's why I like streaming, is because I can just sit there and bullshit so much and just go off on like whatever tangent I want, like going like just because Ann Arbor just edited it and put it up on the third channel, like I just got the best of it up.
Yeah, what's really helped me is trying to be self-aware about it. So like you'll notice it, like I didn't used to be as good about this, but nowadays like if I cut you off, I'll be like, oh, I'm sorry, did I cut you off? Or like if I'm talking to Ellie, I'll be like, hey, can I gush for a second? I have a thing I want to gush about. And she'll be like, of course, you know, just ask permission. And then like if I'm going for like 5 minutes, I'll be like, hey, am I talking too much? Or like, can I keep going? You know, and like if you trust your partner to be like super honest with you, it works pretty well. But either way, I like Denji here because I think, you know, it's like he said, like you remind me a lot of Power, which I thought was or he didn't say Power specifically, but we all knew.
Right.
And it's a very wholesome moment that I really enjoy. Also, I think it's important to mention too that at this point, all of them are like 3 or 4 days without food and going delusional. So I think that's one of the reasons why she was like, I'm fun, right? I think she's losing a little bit. You know what I mean?
She's trying to handle it in her own unique way. That's why I like that moment though. Like she's full of herself, but it's for a reason. And I do want to know like more about her character, like traits there. Like where she actually falls on that spectrum, because it makes she's such a relatable character these last couple chapters.
I've loved her since the beginning, yeah.
But like even now, like she was great in the beginning, but like as she's went on, they kind of play more into those like little traits of hers of like where she's like going like super manic and talking and being full of herself there, or just going full like bipolar mode. As I call it, where she's just like really low and wants to just fucking be done with shit.
Yeah. Well, if we're trying to read into her character here, in the last chapter in 115, she talks about how, you know, I was gonna turn you into a weapon, but I just can't do it, and it's not because I don't have the guts or because it goes against my principles. The real reason I can't is because I don't have any idea what's right or wrong. My life has just been one long string of attempts to avoid making mistakes. I'm a total bore.
That line fucking killed me.
Oh yeah, I mean, like and you know, when I grew up, I was the epitome of overthinking, and this is why I vibe with her, like going from super low confidence to super high confidence, because like growing up, I didn't join any clubs. Even though I wanted to join band, I was like, no, I'm not gonna, because I might suck at it. Even though I wanted to join drama and do plays, but I'm too nervous. I'll get stage fright. I'm gonna be bad at it. I should go to the gym and lose weight. No, you know what I mean? Like you get so cripplingly, full of fear and anxieties about like change and new things. To this day, I'm terrified of change, right? Mm-hmm. I'll turn down promotions. Like, oh, do you want to be like a manager of this? I'm scared, too much responsibility, right? But then as I get older, I'm noticing myself, in order to like cope against that, I do too much with no filter. I start to think, because it used to be even down to like what I would say. I'd be scared to say anything. I'd go quiet. And then to like cope with that now, I'll almost try to throw away any consequences. I'll be like before even thinking about it, I'll make like a terrible joke and I'll be like, that might insult them, but let's just fucking say it and see what happens, because otherwise I won't say anything, right? So
right.
I see myself switching back and forth a lot to try to cope with like my anxieties, almost like, oh, maybe I'll say it before I can even worry about it, right? So like I see a lot of stuff going on with her.
How I left my last job was I just said, I just laid it all out on the table because I like knew I was on my way out because they wanted somebody to be rid of. I'm like, you know what, fuck it.
Yeah, she's all over the place, and that's why I honestly want a scene of her just like talking to a therapist, like on some Pickle Rick shit. I want her to like, I want to see her at like a therapist's office. But that would be too straightforward for Fujimoto.
It very much would. I do kind of do. I want to explore like where she lands on that spectrum though, like fully as a character as we go on, because he's trying to make her so relatable to a specific subset of people that I'd like to have that exact point known.
No, I agree with you. It's a little all over the place, and I do want to see a bit more targeted. I agree.
Right.
Also, I think this is a good time to bring this up too. Did you see the thing in the volume that recently came out in Japan? It confirmed Asa as a main character and Denji as a supporting character.
I did not.
Oh, you didn't? Yeah. So
no.
So confirmed. So in volume 3, I believe. It'd be volume 12, right? But volume 3 of part 2. Asa is listed as the main character and Denji is listed as a supporting character.
Makes sense.
Isn't that crazy though? Like, I mean, we already knew it, but like, I feel like some people have an inability to grasp this idea of like changing main characters, even though Hunter x Hunter did it, and now Chainsaw Man's doing it.
Technically, Dragon Ball wanted to do it.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, Goku's our mascot for the next 45 million years. But volume 12 would be volume 1 of part 2, because volume 11 is last one.
Maybe I meant volume. I might be volume 13 then. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Either way, yeah, it lists her. I'll see if I can find the tweet, but it lists her as the main character, which I think is very cool. I
do love that. Like, it makes sense if you had any sort of media literacy, which is slowly dying.
You saw my tweet about that?
I've been tweeting about it for the last like week or two, dude. Like,
oh man,
shit. Like,
I mean, we saw it all the way back in like 2016 days, where people would be like, "Oh my God, you're writing a villain that does villainous things. You must be in favor of villainous things." Like, are you fucking stupid? What the fuck are you talking about?
Like the Joker being one of the most popular characters on the planet. There's a villain, you fucking idiot.
I'm the Joker, baby. Let's see.
Yeah, get what you fucking deserve. You could have taken any Batman references out of the Joker movie, and it still would have been a phenomenal movie.
You can tell what type of values an author is trying to push as good based on how not just the characters existing and doing the thing, but how those characters are portrayed in the media itself. Are they portrayed as the good or the bad? Yeah.
That's why, like, the ending of fucking Attack on Titan was a little sussy.
I mean, they all teamed up and killed Eren.
Yeah,
I don't really know what do people mean when they say that. Like I've seen people say that.
Mostly because like there's a lot of thematics to Nazism in it.
Yeah, no, I disagree with that completely. I watched that entire thing. It's very clearly against the whole genocide thing going on. Like he's painted as a very bad character. So I don't know why people like to say that.
But no, like, even back when I was in high school, like, media literacy was on its way out, and it's unfortunate to see it get to the point now, but you have shit like Film Critic and all that really fucking ruins it.
Yeah. I can't find the tweet. Oh wait, no, I did. I did find it. Yeah, it was 13. So it's volume
13.
13.
So volume 2 of part 1,
I'm
or
guess.
volume 2
Yeah,
2.
I'm guessing you haven't seen the cover yet. It's Yuko and it's beautiful. I like it a lot.
I love it.
Oh, did you see it already?
I have not, but
Oh,
I
I'm
love the
sending it to
Yuko's.
Check your Facebook.
Okay.
I like the colors a lot. It's very like I don't even know autumny, fally, wintry.
Oh,
Like,
dude.
yeah, isn't that pretty?
That
I'm
is.
so sad she's dead. I loved her character so much.
Yeah.
This is
R.I.P.
the year of autism. Every character has autism. But yeah, so in that tweet it says, it looks like Asa and Yoru are main protagonists and Denji's a supporting character. I'll send you the page. Yeah, so here's the pages where you can see, like, you know, when they list their characters. There's the main characters page and then supporting characters page, and Denji's in the supporting characters. Isn't that crazy?
Fucking yes. I love it's finally confirmed.
Yeah, it's nice. It's just so cool. I like Fujimoto, and like it's really satisfying to. I don't know if any of you guys have ever had this issue. I'm sure I brought this up before, but like when you're trying to show manga and anime to like your girlfriends, not your girlfriend, but like your friends that are girls or your girlfriend. And you're like, you have to go through moments, even like One Piece, which is a great, you know, has phenomenal female characters, but like, you know, there's like still sorry about the cringe here, sorry about Sanji, like, you know, talking about how his dream is to turn invisible and peeve on girls in the bath, sorry.
Or you have characters like Jiraiya being a massive fixture in fucking Naruto, and he's just like, well, even in like part 1 of Naruto, you had Ebisu, who's just a creep too.
Isn't it interesting that like it really is how you do it, because like Denji also has the whole I want to touch boobs, but because the way it's written, it's not as like it's
not as creepy.
People don't hate him as much, and or at all really. I don't see women hating Denji like they hate Mineta or Jiraiya, and that comes down to media literacy again, right? Like people that'll be like, "What's the difference between Mineta and Denji?" It's like, well, Mineta is like a criminal, bro. Like that man should be
like there was a joke tweet that I saw ages ago. Before the whole like war arc of My Hero, it was just like listing the crimes Mineta committed and how much time he would be in prison for in America.
Oh yeah. But you know, I think the difference with Denji is that like there's a lot of trauma behind it. You know, people like it's obvious that like it's obvious that his like want to touch boobs is not just like a pure perverted thing. Whereas like Mineta is like he came from like a fine, loving household. You know, Denji has like the most trauma in the world, and his like want to touch boobs isn't just like ooga. It's more like I just want to feel something, and then when he does touch the boob, it's like, oh, that's not what I wanted at all, and he slowly realizes he wanted to like he's actively growing, you know, like whereas like he's not just the archetypical perv character. And I've said this before, but I have to say it again. You know, I have to apologize to Denji because I did fall into the like, haha, lol, incel, because I had forgotten, you know, I think it had been too long, but like rewatching the anime and rereading the manga now because Allie's reading through it, I forgot about all the like tender moments, like the moments he had with Power where he realized like, oh, I'm
definitely seemed worse early on in part 2 though.
Yeah,
as a character.
No, it felt like he had kind of regressed, and I think, and that might be purposeful. Like maybe he needed someone to kind of ground him again, because I think he's been like alone. You know, it's really just been him and Nyota is mentioned in this chapter, and we'll get to that. But like I feel like he's almost been super alone until meeting Asa here, and it seems like he needs someone to kind of ground him. Yeah. We talked about how even though Makima was like a super toxic relationship for him, she did kind of ground him. And I think like when Denji's alone, he almost, like you do when it's like trauma is rooted in your childhood, I think he starts to revert back to his bad habits when he doesn't have someone kind of grounding him.
And it's a very realistic trait too. And you know, like even like I joke about like loving my own space and being, you know, able to do my own thing, and like I really don't think I would ever, like after the last couple of experiences with it, I don't think I would ever want like a roommate again.
Yeah.
But like having somebody around is a very much needed human characteristic. Like you would never want to be fully alone.
Oh yeah, you lose your mind.
And that's something that not a lot of people realize, because I think like even our generation in particular, like we're so rooted in trauma because our parents grew up with trauma and they just passed it on and it compounded. and every generation kind of has that. But like, I feel like it was really bad for us millennials because of that.
It's because
Because
our parents just had the trauma but didn't talk about it. They ignored it.
right, and then like once they realized it was like kind of too late in their development as human beings to actually go out and seek help. Um, I don't want to put all the blame on the boomers there. It's very traumatic no matter what fucking side of the spectrum you fall on there. But like we don't want to pass that on to the Gen Z, like those of us that are parents, right? Because we know how much it hurts. So we're more open to talking about our feelings and our emotions because we've been through so much. But even then we fall into the trap of like, I want to bottle all this up inside on the side because that's kind of how we had to cope.
Yeah, deep. So yeah, so they boil the starfish, and then he talks about how, and I like how he describes Nyota here. Finally, we get a confirmation that he didn't just fucking like, late term abort her and throw her in a dumpster.
I was very scared there for a
Me
little
too.
bit.
I was like, what happened to
You have
Nyota?
a child living with you, technically, that is the embodiment of a devil that you probably don't want to go outside right now.
It's good that he's, yeah, I know. It's kind of fucked up. I want that means like, he's just like, all right, Nyota, daddy's got a date. Daddy's is trying to find you a mommy. I'll be back.
It's the daddy will be back. I promise. I'm not
just
going out
to
for
the aquarium, and he never came back.
right, like because the world outside of the effects of the Eternity Devil still passing.
Yeah, it's fucked up, right?
She's over there kicking dirt like, God damn it, you went for cigarettes and milk again.
I get like, and it's just because it's fresh in my mind, but I get like Wednesday Addams vibes from Nyota, right? Like,
right.
So like, I have a feeling like even though he's gone for like 3 days and he's like her father figure, she's probably just like running the house fine herself. Like she's like,
right.
It's probably cleaner and like better than it's ever been now that Denji's gone. She's just like cleaned up the whole thing. She's like going grocery shopping herself. She's like super competent. She's like, well, dad's gone for another week again.
Right.
I gotta feed the 9 dogs.
I gotta go out. Nyata's secretly just been following Denji, learning all of his shiesty tricks to fucking make money on the side.
Careful, don't let her get too big of an ego, because if she thinks she's above anyone, she can start fucking controlling that. I bet that would happen like subconsciously too.
Like, we don't want her turning into Mandy from Billy and Mandy.
Oh my god, she literally will be. But yeah, no, I like the way he describes Nyota as sort of friend, sort of little sister. I don't really know. Sort of daughter. There's a lot of things going. Sort of former lover. I should stop talking.
Right, like
what are you talking about?
I
ate her. Right? I also ate her once. It was weird.
You said child in there somewhere. We don't need another.
Sort of friend, sort of little sister, sort of delicious meal I had once. Sort of, sort of former lover, sort of former boss.
And let me just say, the booty nuggets were really good. The what, sir? Why don't you have a seat over there?
The blubber. Dude, there was no meat on that booty. It was pure fat. That was just a blubber ass, bro.
No one said booty nuggets. It was booty lamp oil.
Lamp oil, rope. Ew. But yeah, but no, that's wholesome. It's the classic. Like, I had a shitty life. I wanted to have a good life. So he's trying to dad in a reasonable way. Then they suck out the meat from a starfish. I don't know if I've ever seen anyone eat a starfish. I didn't even know those things were edible. I guess it makes sense, but I never even thought about it. He says gross, tastes like a sea urchin. Is that like a thing they eat in Japan, or is it just because Denji has eaten all the random shit he finds on the ground?
Well, I mean, lower class citizens tend to eat like the leftover scraps of shit too.
No, but like, do people eat sea urchin? Is that like a thing people eat? In, like,
I would assume it would be in that kind of
sea urchins in Japan. I'm googling it, so you can say what you're gonna say. Sorry.
Like, I would assume it would be one of those types of dishes.
Oh,
like
it is.
In. Yeah.
Huh. In Japanese restaurants, it's served raw or with rice or tucked into dumplings. Huh.
The dumpling part makes sense, actually, over there.
It tastes gross. It tastes like a gross sea urchin. Interesting. But yeah, no, I like, and you can immediately see, like, because if you haven't eaten for 3 days and you get like the tiniest little suck of meat, she's immediately like, it's not enough. Fuck it. Like, the hunger kicks in, and I love that.
Yeah, like, And there's sorry, I was responding to Luke about the fucking podcast. Uh but there is one other thing that I want to dive into here, and it's going to tie into theories.
Real quick before you dive into that, just because I imagine yours is like some end game on the video shit. I just really like this moment where he's just like Denji is genuinely, she's just like almost throwing up from eating this, and then he's just like, "You're fun." That's such a genuine compliment,
Right.
And I think that's kind of what gets her to go a little like, yeah, I'm interesting, right? Because one, it's the combination of the delirium that she's going through, but also I don't know. I mean, like, when was the last time someone genuinely complimented her? Probably Yuko, right?
Right.
You know,
And
so
like we don't well, I mean it hasn't been that long since she died, but it's probably like it felt nice after all the trauma there, like
yeah,
to
but
have a
also,
genuine compliment.
I'm sorry, yeah. Also, she's probably she's a high school aged girl. She probably doesn't mind like a boy complimenting her. That's probably never happened to her either. So I mean, like,
Right.
and being as autistic as she is, she can't hide her genuine excitement. I just think it's very wholesome and cute. I really really love Asa.
It
so
is.
much. I'm an interesting woman. I like you, Asa.
Like Asa is like I don't know if it's just me, but I find this type of character a lot more fun.
Me too.
I seeing a genuinely well written on the spectrum character makes it so relatable and so much fun, and I'm enjoying her story a lot more than Denji's
Oh
actually.
yeah, me too, for sure.
Um,
Well, because to me, part one, what made part one great was Makima. Like Denji was
mhm,
there, and he was fine, but like I was there for Makima. I loved
mhm.
Makima, and like now we have a main character. Like I don't hate Denji, but he was never that interesting.
Right.
Um, also,
I think that's kind of by design too, because like to get out the gate, you want that self-inserting main character where you can tie in. But like with Asa, it just fits that mold better to me.
yeah, and it's just so cool that we have like basically. I mean, he's what, like, he's younger than you. This author, isn't he? He's
Yeah,
a little older than me and a little younger than you. And how does that make
I-
you feel?
it's cool. I genuinely love that we're getting more like late millennial, early Gen Z authors writing stories now,
Because Gen
creating
Zers and
art in
millennials
general.
actually talk to women, so they know how to write real humans feeling women.
Right.
I
It's not
found
like a
no.
nice pair of tits there, you won't come home with me.
Well, I found a
And
good TikTok about why like a lot of women really like Power as a character, but I think it also applies to Asa and just in general the women characters that Fujimoto writes. Fujimoto, unlike a lot of manga authors and honestly media in general, you do not see this even in Western media, but like I guess we'll stick with manga. He's able to write his women doing like being gross, being childish, being fucked up, being like burping, puking, puking, in the sense of Power, right? Like these are characters that
very much puking.
yeah,
Very
oh yeah, like these are characters where like in other manga, even if they're like tough or whatever, they're still usually written as like waifu bait, right?
Yep.
Like their characters are very
Like even down to
two-dimensional.
Sakura, right? Like just going with the most basic of character there. But like she was one of the more powerful characters by the end of Naruto, but
Right.
she
Well,
was also
they'll make
written
them.
as that.
Yeah, they'll make them strong, but still like ooh woo girly, and then if they're not girly, they're still very like they're not allowed to be like I don't know. I'm just the TikTok
Or
worded it
like
better.
the more egregious one being Orihime.
Yeah, oh my god, yeah. The TikTok worded it better, but essentially like the reason his female characters feel so different is because they feel human. They feel like they're not like just femininity condensed into a character. Like they're able to be like gross and childish. I mean, they act just like the boys, basically.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
And shocker, that's how most normal human women interact is like just like
Yeah.
us.
Have you guys ever been to like the one guy at a hangout of like all girls? They're just like us, unless you found a pack of really boring basic bitch girls. Like I mean, I'm sure they exist.
Your fucking Starbucks oat milk latte
Yeah,
having bullshit.
I'm
Yeah.
sure they exist. The ones that are like, yeah, boys, and let's paint our nails. But like, I mean, more often than not, like they're fucking sending each other the same memes. They're fucking making gross jokes, and I love it. I love his fucking characters, all of them, but especially his female characters because they feel like real people. It's so good, and like. To an extent, that's what I loved about Ruby. Not to this extent, but like Ruby always felt like their characters, like they never felt like I'm woman character. That's something that I still think RWBY does good to this day, but yeah, with all of its problems, you know. But yeah, did you had final thoughts ending off this
So
video?
like, I think once we get here, right, this ending of this arc, right, I do think that Asa is just going to kind of meld into whatever is going on in the background now, right?
What do you
And
mean?
I mean that with like the whole Devil Hunters plot. That's the overarching part of Chainsaw Man. I think she's going to work her way into that organization because Denji will kind of let her be part of the fucking team at this point. Because he's grown attached, and that's his biggest character flaw.
What
Is
team? What are you talking about?
like the Yoshida, the fucking
Denji
all of
ain't
that.
on a team. He's soloing.
But but I mean like Kishibe and all of that. She's going to be part of like the Devil Hunters Association.
Right, but you said Denji will let her. Like Denji is not. You're skipping a crucial step. Denji's not part of any team, and he doesn't want to be.
True, 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 true. But I think she's going to work her way into this through Denji, you know, because he's dumb and will let all the government secrets out. Like, yeah, so there was this Keisha Bay guy, and then also my daughter is the control devil. The what now? And then slowly war is going to be
Maybe, yeah.
turning, not wanting to turn Denji into a weapon at this point, but like the control devil who's got all this other shit going on that she's suppressed.
Well, obviously, what we have interesting now is, and I think that this is kind of where it's leading, right? Is that like now she's actually, and there's like a really nice page here where they're running around together. Are you on 116 here? Page 14
We'll
on
go right back.
page 14 on 116. I mean, they're having fun. They're having a really
Right.
good time together. And like someone on Reddit pointed out, and it's subtle, and it might not be intentional. Are you on page 14 of 116?
I'm loading it here.
Okay, tell me when you're there.
And there we
So
go.
bottom panel, page 14, 116. It looks like she has heart pupils.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's intentional or not, but like she's blushing, she's having a good time, and like some might say, oh well, how could she fall for him that fast? One, massive delirium. Two, massive autism. Okay,
Yes,
a
like,
two-step
very
recipe
much.
for disaster. I'm Vex. I'm sure you strike me as the kind of guy that could fall for a girl in one night and regret it a week later.
No comment.
So I'm sure you vibe with. I could see it. I could see Asa being like, oh my god, like he likes me for who I am. He said I'm fun.
Right.
You know, he likes he all the
And-
when I stopped masking, when I stopped reading Wikipedia
Right,
articles, and I just started being like my weird
That's
true
kinda
self,
like why I
he
was
started to
getting at
like
that.
me. You know.
That's why I was kind of getting at that. Like, she has genuinely taken affection towards him. She is very much attached,
To
and
an
also
extent,
like
I don't
being
want to say I'm not gonna pretend like they're in love immediately, but she's definitely like, oh, you know what? Maybe she's definitely realized that she prejudged him, and he's not like a piece of shit like she thought.
right, and that's also a very bad trait of it. Somebody on the spectrum is like we do tend to judge quite a bit. Um, the thing that really got me is like I saw that and I'm like the last time these Denji has had this much genuine happiness
I
in him
know.
was the Rize arc. As much as I hate Rize as a character because she's a toxic manipulator.
Either that or when I remember there's that part where he's like sitting and playing video games with Power, and he's talking about how it's like well, it's not exactly what I was thinking, but I do kind of have what I want right now. It was like right before Power was killed. There was some fun times where they like went traveling with Aki, and like that was a really fun time for him too. But
He had a family.
yeah.
I
think he's someone who needs someone for sure.
Right.
They both do.
And that's why like I really got into that whole like really deep conversation a little bit ago. It's like I realized like that is exactly what he needed. He needs that somebody there as a grounding, and she needs somebody as a grounding.
Which leads us into the drama now that will inevitably come, because eventually they're going to figure out that he's Chainsaw Man. He might even spill it now that they're close like this, right?
Right, and that's why I'm like she's going to be worked into this whole like overarching plot now because one, the second it's found out, and it will be found out in a fucking government like Kishibe is a part of, that she now has the War Devil contracted with her. what does the government love more than anything but war? You know?
Well, beyond even, I think you're thinking too far in advance. The first thing to deal with is when War Devil figures out that Denji is Chainsaw Man.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you know what? I just figured out the drama. All right, here could, okay, potential drama. Okay, that could happen. Right now, Yoru is separate from Asa. Maybe there's a moment before Yoru and Asa reconnect that Asa like he tells her like, oh, by the way, I'm Chainsaw Man, and then and she's like, oh fuck, and she has to like keep that shit a secret from Yoru. Like for the rest of the arc, and then inevitably that's a possibility, unless they can. I don't remember if Yoru can like read her mind or not. I don't fully remember. I don't think so, because they have like regular conversations. So if they could read minds, like, yeah, so definitely not. So that could be a potential possibility. But yeah, so that's clearly the drama we're heading towards. Is that like, oh, like the person that I have to kill to get my life back is gonna be this boy that I might have a crush on now. You know what I mean? And that's fun. I'm excited.
Or the like once they find out like that it's Chainsaw Man, once Yoru finds out, how much does she value Asa's happiness now that she's getting more attached to Asa?
That's true, yeah, because Yoru's developing as a character as well.
Right. And they as the like War Devil here might be like, you know what, there's other powerful weapons in the universe, and that could be how we end up getting to the Kishibe popping up in the story. I just want Kishibe back, man.
I know, it's gonna be very fun when we see him again. I really want to see Nyota. I want to see if she's like grown up, if she's like a little older.
Right,
looking.
like
I basically just want a Wednesday Addams character in this. I just want her to be exactly like Wednesday.
you really did like that show, didn't you?
I mostly just really liked Wednesday. I love that aesthetic of like tiny little short girl, horrific monster mentality.
It's a very fun mentality. I could recommend.
I looked up
like,
that actress, by the way. Ooh, yeah, oh yeah, no, I actually watched the movies recently with Allie, because Allie used to watch the old show in the, because you know, like when you know the like people, like families that are super poor and they just have like public access or like TV Land or whatever, so they used to watch like a bunch of old shows like Addams Family, you know, Beverly Hillbillies shit. So she watched a bunch of those old ones. All the movies are on Netflix. The Addams Family Values and shit.
I started rewatching because I grew up with like that too. I fucking loved the Addams Family back in the day, so I actually went back and started watching the old one after the Netflix series.
No, I like Wednesday. Wednesday really fits into the archetype of character that I like very much like Hanako. Like Hanako obviously has like more silly sides of his personality, but like when Hanako gets serious is very much like Wednesday, like that vibe. Basically, like creepy children in the hallway from The Shining vibe. I've always appreciated characters like that, like just creepy violent children. I've always really, I don't know why, I like that character type.
Come play with us. Stabbing you in the fucking background.
Yeah. Also,
you like murder children.
I really do.
Like.
Yeah, I saw a TikTok recently I really enjoyed where like in the Netflix show Wednesday is not comfortable with like physical touch. So there's like, and her brother and her father, they don't notice that. Like they'll hug her and she's always very like about it. But like Morticia, her mother, is always like, she's the one, she'll like do like little like air kisses and like she'll go to like rub her shoulder, but she'll like do it like above her shoulder.
Yeah,
it's like really wholesome. I'm like, oh my god, I love that.
I've always found the meme fascinating. Like, you shouldn't like Harley and Joker, you should go for like a Morticia and Gomez.
Yes.
Dynamic.
Yeah. Gomez get yourself ladies, get yourself a man who loves you like Gomez. So wholesome.
The fucking like that character type has always been one of my favorites too. But like right now, just to try it back to Chainsaw Man.
Yeah, real quick, I did have one last thing to say about the Asa Denji thing. Yeah, because like I don't want to lose my place here. What I found interesting too, I had this thought at work. I was like, so you know how there's like a running thing in Chainsaw Man where Denji has, sorry, I'm losing my breath, Jesus Christ, where Denji has bad luck with women, right? But what's interesting is normally, every time Denji has had bad luck with women, we've seen the whole thing play out from Denji's perspective. So we didn't get to see, like, you know, if we saw it from the women's perspective, we would have known from the beginning, like, oh, She's gonna stab him in the back. She's trying to kill him. Yeah, you know what I mean. But from this time, we've seen the whole thing from the woman's perspective. So we know already that yes, like she is much like his normal bad luck with women. She does want to turn into a weapon, but now she doesn't want to anymore. We know her motives. We know her true motives. So I feel like if maybe Fujimoto is going down the course now where he's going to finally, after all the suffering he's put him through, maybe this is the one. Maybe this is the moment when his bad luck breaks, because now what's different is we're getting it from her perspective rather than his. I think that'd be really cool. I'm super invested in this. I like it a lot.
Right, like we've seen every manipulation up front, before, but now we've always really kind of saw like that one little glimpse of like, well, my goal is to do it for this aspect of the fucking the growth of the story, but like we really have two very differing needs here. We have Asa, who desperately needs connection, human connection, instead of being down in the slumps, but we also have Yoru, who wants to bring back war itself. She wants to bring back nuclear weapons and all this shit because it made her feared and powerful. But having those two conflicting needs at the same time going on, I want to see the story of which one prevails.
Yeah, and Yoru just needs some fucking therapy, because like for Yoru it really just comes down to like her self-worth. I think that's kind of what's going on here, is that like we have this very human drama, and then it's wrapped up in like the devil drama of like nukes and war and politics. But really, if you think about it, the devil drama is the same as the human drama. It's all self-confidence, right? Like Denji doesn't have as much self-confidence issues anymore. He just kind of piles into shit. But Asa and Yoru have the exact same self-confidence issues. They just deal with it in very different ways.
Right. So like having that very human connection here, it leads to such a great story that's going on, and I am forever indebted to having Fujimoto allow us to talk for an hour and 20 minutes
for 30 pages. You gotta love it.
For 30 pages, and
only 20% of that is simping over Wednesday Addams, the adult version from the Netflix show.
Like, it's so bizarre. Like, we've done in the span of 6 years a lot of different fucking manga reviews read. And I don't think anything has led to this kind of content.
Well, that's why we're Chainsaw Man exclusive channel now.
You do have like 3 things you filmed with.
Well, I'm trying to connect them all together. I have One Piece stuff coming, but it's because I don't want to like put out a video where like it's like 3 weeks old basically, and like the most recent stuff we discussed was like a month old. You know what I mean?
Right.
So we're filming another thing soon here where and then I'm gonna combine them together. But yeah, no, the only other manga that I can talk this long for is One Piece, because One Piece also... But see, it's more impressive for Chainsaw Man, because, like, One Piece we can talk forever because it's got years of history. I mean, you could talk... You could be like, you know what this reminds me of? It's like talking about...
Back in chapter 227.
Yeah, it's like talking about a fucking Superman run, you know what I mean? Like, in issue number 201, page 14, Superman says, which actually shows that he was scared in that one instant. I don't know. But yeah, that's One Piece.
Dude, having tried to make comic content, y'all motherfuckers are crazy, because there is 54 pages in an entire month, and I struggle to make 25 minutes of content out of that. And there are motherfuckers that do that for as long as we've been doing Chainsaw Man, for this 2 chapters. Okay, y'all built different.
Yeah, it's true. So the only other thing we have to talk about, it's very exciting. He makes a kind of similar deal. To, remember the whole Makima deal from part 1, where it's like, hey,
thank you,
bro. I'm so excited. When I was reading this, bro, and like maybe Denji has like matured more, but like it's like, all right, now give me all that money. The hell, not in your life. I'll grant you any request once we're out of here. Help yourself. And then also do whatever I say right now. Yes, ma'am. Bro, the Dami Subby relationship has already kicked off. God. I love it. And, like, this man just bought himself some puss is what happened. I'm so excited.
Like, that was immediately my thought, is like, oh, this could go so many different routes.
I love how, like, something that's so it's fucked up that it's like this because it's like I always the dynamic is very weird. The fact that like women like it makes me feel uncomfortable that like men simp that hard for women, and I always feel bad. But some women they rock it, right? Like I mean, some women are fucking out here making hundreds of thousands of dollars on OnlyFans, and if you can do that and remain safe and not get like fucking doxxed and like hunted down by stalkers, more power to you, right? But like that, there's something kind of.
I really wish it was that easy to make that much money on OnlyFans.
Well, grow a pussy. Try harder, pussy. Grow a pussy. Drink more estrogen from your.
Sippy cup. Going super femme.
Super Saiyan a pussy where your dick is. Anyway, but no. So did you
go full Futanari mode there?
Did you look up how much money this is, by the way? The $1,000,000 yen they found?
I did not.
It's a decent amount. It's like $7,000.
Yeah.
So man just bought himself some pussy for $7,000 is what happened. That's a lot. I mean, like, how much is a normal prostitute? He's paying top dollar right now.
That's actually something sex related I'm not very familiar with, right?
I don't want to Google. If I Google like prostitutes, that's gonna be mega sus if like Allie looks at the fucking search history.
How much is your relationship worth, Red?
Vex, you have to Google this. There's nothing writing on it if you Google it. I need you to Google how much a prostitute.
My Google history is already a mess.
Then Google it. I need to know.
How much is a prostitute?
Just an average rate. Like a not a super cheap one, like a decent one. We're not talking like
the average price in LA is $200 to $250.
That's crazy cheap. He just paid $7,000, bro. I'll be honest, like here's the thing, Denji. You've made a lot of personal growth, but like you just paid $7,000. Even I think you've paid enough for some puss. God damn.
That's some kink related money.
That's premium shit. What do you think? What's his request? Because I feel like this is how this is gonna lead into like their next date, right? Like, is he gonna be wholesome about it? Like, all right, what's your request? Another date with me, please. Like, is he gonna be that wholesome, or is he gonna be like,
how much has his character grown? Is the title of the next few chapters?
Yeah, I feel like
has he grown past like I want to spend the night with you, winky face?
Oh God. Yeah. I don't know. It's $7,000. I just want him to get his money worth, man. Like, part of me really does want the kinky part of me, the fanfic reading part of me, really wants him to just like do some absolute extreme creep sex with her. But like the story
come into my dungeon, baby.
The story part, I realize is that would be a terrible idea.
I am so high right now. I cannot stop laughing.
The fact that she said I'll grant any request, I mean, Asa's not dumb. She's not dumb. Like,
she's realizing, like, oh shit, I just opened up a whole can of worms.
I mean, I don't know. I wonder if she's like cool with it. I that's something that I hope, because we've talked about like maybe this story going in a more mature direction, and like It doesn't have to be dark, but I would love like a kind of a bit of a chapter where we kind of see
Manga plus exclusive chapter.
Well, yeah, I'm just curious on her thoughts on like what are her thoughts on sex? You know what I mean? Like where is she at on that? Because I have a feeling, as autistic as she is, going from my own experience, I didn't lose my virginity until I was like 26. Full honesty here, right? And like that's what happens when you're mega autistic, right? If you're like super socially awkward, it takes a while. Yep. And so, like, I'm gonna assume she's still a virgin. So, like, I am super curious, like, what would her thoughts be? Like, if Denji was like, and I feel like Denji, all of his flaws, I don't see him, like, being creepy and, like, weird. Like, like, fuck me, get on the floor and lick my feet. I don't see him doing that shit. I think it would just be like...
Denji is a sub, 100%.
Exactly, yes. So I feel like it'd be more like... Ooh, sex, mommy, please. like it would just be,
Discord mod noises.
I just feel like it'd be like, all right, what's your request? And he just like lays down on her bed, takes his pants off. He's like, sex, please, sex, please. And she's just like,
you understand how this works?
She's just gonna be like,
she's having the coach him the entire way,
No, that's the funny thing. I feel like, and the way that I would want it to go down, I feel like she probably doesn't know what she's doing either. I feel like neither of them would know what they're doing. I feel like it would be one of those.
This is 100% like the like cherry pop for both of these characters.
Exactly, and that could be genuinely wholesome if we go that direction. Like I've read like really good romance mangas where it like goes into this and they have like awkward sex and it's like real.
As fucked as saying this is, like, even there's a chapter of Sword Art Online that was integrated into the canon because the author found it so realistic and wholesome for what his story was. And 100% is like one of the most accurate depictions of like virgin sex I've ever read.
Yeah, dude, like I could, like all the classic tropes in there. Like they go to kiss and they bump fucking foreheads, like ow, and then oh shit, we need some lube. It's still it's chafing a little down there. Like we forgot to buy a condom, and they go to like a grocery store together awkwardly and buy a box of condoms. Like I want the whole.
They're going through like none of them have even seen a condom before. They're going through like, well, we need one in each size because we don't know what will fit.
I have no doubt that both of them have watched copious amounts of porn. So I feel like
100. Denji's browser history is like boobs.
But even Asa, boobs, I get the vibe that she's probably watched a decent amount of. Yeah, like. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut off your joke.
He's going through like child's first browsing search for porn,
Bigboobs.com. I didn't have internet growing up. Also, it's the 90s, so like, we're talking like dial-up, like
WhiteHouse.com is an actual porn website and not a redirect domain.
He's over there ask Jeevesing for porn. Yahoo.coming.
Yahoo answers.
Well, let me.
Does my penis need to be fully erect for sex?
Oh God. Anyway, it probably won't happen, but at the same time, this is the author that gave us the harem sex, right? So like, I really think. And it's not just for the fan service, not just for like, haha, horny. I think we could have a genuine wholesome moment where both these fucking virgins genuinely like have like sure, I want to have sex, you want to have sex. We went through a traumatic thing together that tends to make people.
This is how Fujimoto gets pulled out of Jump Plus and put into like a web only.
I don't think that'd be an issue. There's plenty of manga there's plenty of like teen romance manga where shit like this happens. I would.
Well, yeah, but also they're not shueisha.
But he's already out of the magazine, Bex. That's why this is right here is why he's out of the magazine. Like shit like this, if he was to do it.
So how far did you realize? You didn't even read it, so why am I even asking the question? Like, Ayakashi Triangle is like what came to mind.
Oh, you told me all the time it felt like a hentai. Yeah.
It you cannot read the manga in public, realistically.
Yeah, and if I can do shit like that, like Fujimoto,
it got pulled out of the main magazine and put to like age gated on the website.
Sure, and you think Fujimoto wouldn't be willing to do that? The man clearly doesn't give a shit.
So like, this is where this gets that like permanent age gating.
Maybe. I mean, I feel like Fujimoto is the new like Oda Togashi, where he can do anything. Like I don't see them stopping him. Yeah.
But there would have to be like some ground rules for it, is what I'm getting at. Like
obviously
he already kind of like got
dick and pussy. It's gonna be like if you ever, I always think of GE Good Ending. It was a good romance manga I read, and in that one they just like show them like under the covers doing vague sex motions, and then like a panel of like the condom getting thrown away. That's all you need. That you know what I mean? Like you don't need to see the sex. You just need to know they did the sex, and then like have them talking and like see how they felt about it. That's all I want.
And that would be like the perfect angle for Fujimoto to go with, because like you see how his paneling is and how he can convey a story through that.
I want to see like realistic awkward sex. I want to see them going to the store and getting a condom. I want to see them like looking in a fucking sex position book. Like, okay, which one should we try? I don't know any of this shit. How the fuck is that gonna work? I want to see that real awkward shit.
Yeah, it's very like, I don't think that any other author I would feel comfortable with them portraying something like this.
Yeah.
You know,
well, it's because Chainsaw Man is, people mention this like the recent ending in the anime, like the last ending. It was a very human ending. I don't know if you saw it. It was just shots of them like in there every day, like going to the grocery store and like the freezer section, getting some meat, like going to the fucking playground. There's like a shot you might have seen of Power on like one of those Rocky horses. You know what I mean?
I saw that floating around.
Yeah. So like it was just, and people were like, oh, I saw a bunch of people commenting like, oh, this ending shows the human side of Chainsaw Man so well. Right. Like, and like it does. And like, I think this series has, more series should do this, these slice life moments. I wish in like JJK or like One Piece there was just more like 5 chapters in a row of them just fucking around. Something I wish, and early One Piece had this a lot more when Oda felt like he had time to fuck around. I miss the chapters where they were just on the boat, just chilling for like 5-6 chapters in a row before they got to the next island. You know what I mean? Like more series should have this, and I hope that I think that Fujimoto has hit such a good. We talked about this before. How you need to keep, unless you're absurdly talented, you need to keep a low amount of characters in order to have a compelling story before it gets so overly bloated. And like he does such a good job at keeping.
You, One Piece.
Yeah, of course, yeah. But he does such a good job at like, I mean, like there's like 4 relevant characters right now, like 4 actually important characters that you need to like.
Maybe
remember.
5 with Jigsaw Man.
Right, you know, somewhere around there, no more than 6 or 7. Like, and you know, and like all these randos, you're either never gonna hear from them again or they're gonna die. You know what I mean? So like, I love it. I love the way he writes.
Yeah, and Daikobani is definitely gonna die. And maybe that's
either
actually
that, or it's gonna be revealed it's actually Kobani's brother, or whoever the fuck. No, how many siblings? Maybe that is right, because like that was one of the things. Kobani's brother, they want to get Kobani's brother into like college or some shit, and that's why she was like having to make all that money.
Yeah, maybe
She's got a bunch of brothers, right?
Yeah, it's why like her choices were either devil hunting or prostitution.
I'm so sad that she didn't get to have a nice, fulfilling relationship with Violence Fiend.
Maybe that's why this character exists, is because like for her sacrifices, so to speak, during the final arc.
I want to see Kobani happy so bad.
Like baby brother got put into this private school.
I also want to see Kobani get like
a win.
Yeah, well, also just to be perverted, I want to see Kobani get some good dick. Like, I feel like she deserves it. She really needs it, I think. There's a lot of stress built up in her.
Oh God,
wouldn't that be incredible? I like imagining that. Like she just needs a man who will treat her right, both in the streets and the sheets. Is all I'm saying. Or a lady, whatever she's into. But like, yeah.
Yeah, I still love the sloppy blowjob though.
Dude, yeah, I bet she could give a nice blowjob, the sloppiest.
The awkward ones always tend to give the best head. And with that, do you have any final thoughts, Red?
I gotta get some tonight. It's almost Shark Week, and y'all know what that means. And you gotta get it in while you can.
You gotta get it in while you can. I felt that.
When they're on birth control, it's nice because there's like a schedule, and like I'm not being weird, okay? She tells me she's like, hey, by the way, if you want some, you better in the next day or two.
Better before the cup goes in.
Anyway. Why did you call me Kobani while we were having sex?
Listen.
I go through my list of names. Oh, Kobani. Oh.
Oh, Robin. Oh,
adult version of Wednesday Addams from the 2022 hit Netflix series.
Oh, Jenna Ortega.
Yeah. The actress. Let's go with Jenna Ortega, specifically dressed up as Wednesday Addams.
The Wednesday Adam big deal stay on during sex.
Facts. Wow, is this two Chainsaw interviews in a row ending with simping over Wednesday Addams, specifically the adult version from the Netflix 2022?
Hey, I'd love to get pegged by Benoit Blanc from Glass Onion. And with that, peace.
Yeah.